Hello, I'm Frost, and welcome to my August 2020 update on all that is going on in the world of sci-fi gaming. Welcome back. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off with the stuff that happened in late July, so since my last update. First up, we had the Xbox showcase on the 23rd of July, and we got to see Halo Infinite, or to be precise, we saw some gameplay rather than just cinematic trailers. And it looks wonderful, super crisp. We're going to get the high refresh rates. Obviously, this has been built specifically for the next-gen consoles and for super-duper PCs. And whilst the Master Chief Collection did a very good job of remastering all the old titles, this has been built from the ground up to make full use of these kind of next-gen consoles. So it looks really exciting. Obviously, Halo has got a great lore, great story behind it. And this looks like it's going to continue the franchise beautifully. And that will be coming out hopefully at the end of the year, at the same time as the Xbox Series X release. Then something a little bit different came out on the 24th of July is Jets and Guns. Now, Jets and Guns is a fast-paced side-scroller. And as you can see from the trailer, it is very colourful, it is very frenetic, and pretty straightforward game. So if you want something just to kind of have a quick go at and just get away from the world for a little while and just zap things in beautiful colour in a very fast-paced action, then Jets and Guns will be just for you. Now we move on to new releases. I mentioned this in my last update, Horizon Zero Dawn. That is now coming very, very soon, 7th of August. And it is an open world action RPG set in the 31st century where machines rule the land. It was originally released on the PS4. It's now been ported to the PC. And looks wonderful. I never got the chance to play on the PS4, but if you have, then please let me know in your comments. I'm sure that those of us on PCs would love to know more about it, but it does look very, very good. And obviously we've got another Horizon Zero Dawn coming in next year, so this is kind of a prequel to that, which just gives us another reason to check it out. Then another new release is Tactical Troops Anthracite Shift, which is quite a mouthful. It's a long title. This is coming out on the 20th of August. And it is a top-down, turn-based strategy combat game. And you get 40 plus single-player levels on it. You get 20 plus multiplayer maps. So it may build up quite a good community on the multiplayer side of things, I think. But it looks interesting. I'm curious to see what the mechanics will be like. I did get the chance to try out the beta. Unfortunately, I just didn't get time. So I can't really tell you much more on it. But I will try and get hold of this on the 20th of August and maybe even do a video on it, as I do like my turn-based games. And talking of turn-based games, we are properly well supplied this month, because we then on the 28th of August, we're getting Wasteland 3. Now, this is a continuation of Wasteland 2. Wasteland 2 came out in 2014 for the PC and Mac, and then a year later it came out on consoles. It is an RPG. It's turn-based combat with a squad. The campaign mode will feature cooperative play, and that will be in both synchronous and asynchronous mode. And it's set in post-apocalyptic Colorado and comes from Exile Entertainment. Now, it was supposed to come out at the end of 2019. It got delayed, but now we're going to get it in August. And once again, it looks very, very interesting. And clearly, they have a background in making turn-based games, so the mechanics on this should be pretty solid. Then moving on, another game that I mentioned in a previous update is Occupy Mars. So with Occupy Mars, that's supposed to come out at the end of the year, and it is essentially a cross between Kerbal and Space Engineers. But we are going to be given the opportunity to try out a prologue, and the prologue is due sometime in August. We don't have a set date yet, but it's up there on Steam, so you can wishlist if you want to give that a go. And now we're going to move on to updates. So the first update is Shipbreaker. We had update 0.1.4, which came out on the 23rd of July. This, amongst other things, allowed you to finally change your key bindings. This is only for the PC. The controller is going to be coming, but not just yet. They added a bit more variety to the macro shifts. And then we also have up and shift now. There were quite a few comments from the community about the 15-minute timer kind of being a bit of a pain. And you now have the opportunity to play without the timer. Then other things that have been announced are the Stargazer ship, and literally as I made this video, they literally just announced it. The Stargazer is a new ship in a Shipbreaker. It is a science ship. It's longer, it's thinner, and it has some quite explosive elements like a hydroponic pod. It's got solar panels, so it's got some new things for you to deconstruct as well. And then we can also expect, I believe sometime in August, is new player voices, so that you can get more of a gel with the player that is representing you in the game. And then we have X4 3.30. I mentioned the beta, I think, in my last update. That has now become a full-blown update. The main feature with this is crew transfer. They've reworked the whole interface to make it much, much simpler and to be able to do it remotely. But as well as this kind of added feature, we have loads of fixes and patches and updates and all kinds of stuff. And it's a big, big list, and I will link it in the description as always. And then we come on to announcements. So announcements, the first is Star Renegades. Once again, something very different. This comes out on the 8th of September. And it can best be described as a roguelike JRPG. And as you can see from the trailer, it's got this beautiful pixel art. You are fighting an evil galactic empire. What more could you want with a JRPG, right? And it is tactical turn-based combat. And like I said, that's coming on the 8th of September. Then another announcement, and this one's a big one. The Outer Worlds, we are getting a DLC. Now, Obsidian Entertainment made the Outer Worlds. It came out at the end of 2019. And it's an amazing game. I mean, I played it, and the paths that are open to you in this RPG, you can play it any way you want. There's different styles of play, and there's a different outcome depending on how you play the game. And we now have this new DLC called Peril on Gorgon, and the voice acting in it is brilliant. The script is brilliant, and I can't say enough about the Outer Worlds, and I don't think it got enough praise when it came out, because it is a very, very good sci-fi RPG and probably my favorite game of 2019. And maybe with this DLC, it will be on our top list as well for 2020. So there we go. Then one last announcement, which is once again from Inzile. So Inzile, as you know, are releasing Wasteland 3 at the end of the month, which I just mentioned. But they also have been working on a VR game called Frostpoint. And this has been announced for launch in 2020, so sometime at the end of the year. But they are planning to try and get into open beta in September. Now, what's interesting about this is that it's a PvP setup. It's a 10v10 first-person shooter for VR. So I'm very interested to see how this is going to turn out, because obviously VR is still quite a limited market, and hopefully they'll be able to get enough of the player base on all time zones to be able to get that 10v10. I think this is something that VR really needs, is some really good kind of co-op PvP game, and Frostpoint looks like it will bring it, and we will have to see where that goes. And that's available for all the usual headsets, whether it's your Oculus Rift, your Valve, or your Vive. Then finally we come on to other news. First bit of other news is CD Projekt Red have released the Trauma Team's figurines, and these are beautiful. They're all hand painted, and they're pretty decent size as well. But they are going to cost you a fair penny. You know, the cost of a decent graphics card to have one of these, but they are very unique, you know, and they are hand painted and clearly highly crafted. So if you want something very special for your collection, there you go, the Trauma Teams from Cyberpunk 2077. Then another item that came out was a Jeb Squishy. So this is available from the Private Division shop, and it comes at the same time that Kerbal Space Program has reached 100,000 followers on Twitter, which is impressive, which is very impressive. So clearly a big fan base out there, but I am sure that most of you will agree, we don't want a Jeb Squishy, we want a Jeb plushie. Please, 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 Private Division, Kerbal, give us a Jeb plushie. I need a plushie to go in alongside my lizard. So there you go, I've said my bit, and hopefully everyone else will as well, and we will hopefully finally get our Jeb plush toy. Then we have Tennocon. So Tennocon is on the 1st of August. Now usually this is a a community-based event that happens in Canada, in London, Ontario, and is obviously run by Digital Extremes, who make Warframe. And Tennocon is similar to EVE, in terms of its community. It has a really, really strong community, and people really love going to Tennocon. And unfortunately, it's a digital only this year. But if you're a fan of Warframe and you want to find out about Heart of Deimos, which is their brand new update, that is all being announced at Tennocon 1st of August. And it's going to be digital, so you can check it out online. And then finally, EVE Online, because there's always EVE Online news. This one came as a shock for me. Triumvirate, an alliance that has been around since 2006, and I had loads of GG battles with them. They were a tough crowd to fight. They've decided to disband, and apparently Gas Tyrell made the announcement, and now there's only like a sort of a holding corp left, and all the other corporations are kind of spread out into different parts of the universe. So I'm very sad to see Triumvirate goes. They had a lot of veteran players, which made them very, very tough to fight. And I wish them all the best to every single corp that was in Triumvirate, and thank you for the fights that you gave us. So there's a lot going on in EVE Online at the moment. It's being called World War B2. We are getting pretty much every alliance in EVE now focused on this war between, essentially, we've got, on one side, we've got Goonswarm, and on the other side we've got PandaFam and Legacy fighting Goonswarm. So it involves pretty much everybody. If you want to know more about that, then Jintan is doing his EVE Online news. He covers it in detail, and I highly recommend you watch that. I will post Jintan in the links below. And then other stuff on our Space Engineers community server, Frosty's OP, we're getting more and more players. If you're interested in joining our co-op multiplayer server for Space Engineers, please join our Discord. I will put the link below for the Discord. The Discord also has sci-fi news, which is what this is based on. We also have channels for Planetfall, for Space Engineers, for general sci-fi gaming chat. So if you're interested in all of those things, please come and join our Discord. Finally, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give me a like if you did. Please be sure to subscribe, as I release a lot of sci-fi content on a regular basis. I generally release videos 2 times a week. I stream 2 times a week. Stream Wednesdays and Saturdays. Generally videos are out Tuesdays and Fridays. And finally, hit the bell icon to get notifications of all the stuff that I'm up to. All right, thank you very much for watching. That wraps it up for today, and until the next one. Bye.